Wearing this hoodie makes me feel like I'm the ambassador for an alien nation. The green sludge. What is it? It is Kratos in the flesh. Kratos being what autocorrect gives me when I try to write in thee who shall not be named. It has been 1 year, just about 1 year, since I finally got off the sludge train. And I have to tell you guys that there are some extreme side effects that I was not even consciously aware of yet because not enough time had elapsed for me to even report on them, making this a completely valid video. As much as you are so sick and tired, as much as you're so excited for all of my green sludge videos, and I know there's a whole lot of you that are going to be harping in the comments about how I'm full of spit. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a true addict. If I was a true addict, I would really understand what it means to be a year clean. No, I am a true addict. That's right, I'm an addict. No denial over here. I was addicted to the sludge for over 8 years. Homeboy's not over here saying that he's not an addict, okay? I'm reporting as somebody who has been off their substance of choice for a year now, what I have learned, and I think this is extremely valid, especially for those of you who are still struggling with the acute withdrawal phase, because I always thought that the hardest part of getting off the sludge was that first 7 to 14 days of intense withdrawal where you can't sleep, where you're so exhausted, your body is super tired, but your mind just keeps you awake and you just can't figure out how to get your freaking eyes to close. I had to chew on an entire Xanax bar and it still wouldn't knock me out. And then everyone talks about that pink cloud where you're so happy afterwards that you got off it. And then you exit the pink cloud and reality sets in. And the reality for me was I had been taking something for almost, or I don't know, something like 8 years, on and off, more so on than off. And then after a while, it went from daily use to multiple times a day. At my peak, I was taking it over 10 times a day. 10 Kratos drinks a day, guys. That has an absurdly impactful effect on not just your neurotransmitters, like not just your brain in the short term, but also in the freaking long term. And this is something that I didn't quite grasp. I would make it 3 or 4 months off the sludge, and then that would usually be my turning point. I rarely pushed past the 4-month mark. So I'd be on it for like 8 months out of the year, and then I'd be off it for 4. You could even just argue that was a tolerance break. And then I'd hop back on it because after, a month or two, once the cloud settles down, the pink cloud, that lovely pink cloud that makes us all feel like we're so awesome and we're so great for getting off, and then we're running off that high that we're just so proud of ourselves and we finally made it. We pushed through the withdrawals. We did it. Once that ends, and then you enter that just like, okay, back to normal life phase, I would always fall back on the sludge because I would feel like I was less happy without it. We interrupted this program with a word from our sponsor, which is me. Head on over to psychsubstance.shop to get the limited supply of one of these amazing, super soft psychedelic onesies, available in black or white. The super soft hooded trip blanket, your companion for all of your encounters into the other worlds. It comes equipped with pockets, which even have buttons. And I hate to say it, we got about 100, and once they sell out, I don't really think I'm going to be stocking them anymore. So if you've been like, on the fence about buying one, now is your chance, because they might not ever be available again. So again, head on over to psychsubstance.shop, get the super soft hooded trip blanket or the onesie. They're actually on sale. I've discounted the price. And let's hop back into the video. Cheers. Sometimes, it would take a really stressful, emotional instance for me to jump back on something in my life would happen that was stressful, and there was stressful things just popping out of the woodwork like cockroaches. They just never ended. So I would have an infinite number of excuses, things that I would tell myself to feel better about myself for getting back on the sludge. I didn't need any more reasons. And once you're in that cycle for so long, going off, going on, going off, going on, going off, going on, you really start to get convinced on a subconscious level that you really aren't going to enjoy your life, period, without being on this substance. And that was kind of the extra kick that I needed to always hop back on the sludge. I never gave myself enough time to truly recover fully. I didn't realize that the recovery process was really long, and that the longer you're putting your body and mind, through this onslaught of constantly altering its neurotransmitters on a daily basis, the longer you're doing that, obviously, the longer you're going to need to recover. I never gave myself a year. I got impatient. Now, I can't exactly tell you what changed things up this time. I think I just really got so sick of my own bullshit, and I got so sick of being in the same cycle that once I hit that 4 or 5 month mark, I do remember this past time having thoughts of, all right, life is getting shitty again, nothing feels good, and there were definitely thoughts of going back, but I really wanted to do things differently this time, and by golly gee, I am so happy that I did. Now that I've made it to a year free from the death grip that the sludge had on me, I can say that I actually enjoy life again. Simple things like playing video games. Without the sludge, video games just really weren't exciting. The only way I would enjoy video games would be like, have a drink of the sludge. And you would argue, well, that's great. Now you're going to play less games. But it wasn't just limited to games. I'm saying games are like an example of something that most people enjoy as like a guilty pleasure. So like simple things, like, just going for walks, things that aren't as stimulating as video games were just dreadful. Being on something like that has opioid effects for so long truly does cause such a strong dependence where even when you've been off it for months, your brain is not healed yet. And it takes a lot longer to fully recover to the point where things that you used to enjoy, sans said compound, actually become enjoyable again. It takes a while to get to the point where you actually start enjoying your life again. Now, of course, this is just my own experience. I can't speak for everyone. Holy crud, this is hot. But that is what it was like for me. And I wanted to make a whole video just highlighting this one point, that it takes longer than you think to recover, so that you guys who are, getting off it, and maybe you're in the same, cycle of going on and off as I did, you don't hastily make the decision to go back on. I want you to know that things do get better. It was around 8 months for me. Yeah, that sounds excessive, but it's the truth. It was around the 8-month mark when I remember I noticed a shift. I finally started feeling like life is getting a little more exciting again. I'm starting to get some of my interest back that I had lost for years due to being in this endless cycle. Recovery is possible. I don't want to sound like a cliche, like a Hallmark card, but it's just around the corner. Messages from your friendly neighborhood ambassador of the aliens. I know, Adam, you're so cringy. You're just such a goofball. Mr. Grinch, you really are a mean one. So yeah, just a nice little update for all you guys. Still off the sludge, probably never going back. Can't say never, never say never. It's just not worth going through another freaking year to recover. The recovery is longer than you think. There's some equation for X amount of time on means it's going to take X amount of time off. It might sound like I'm just being a wimp and I'm just complaining about things, but when you lose all interest in the things that used to interest you, life becomes really dull and boring, and it's really easy to fall into a cycle where you're just constantly needing something in order to make your day feel manageable. So yeah, anyone out there who's still battling with this, I wish you the best of luck. I would not want to be in your shoes, and I'm not trying to say that to be mean by any means. That's just how I feel. I would not want to go back to that state. But I do want to tell you that it gets better. It gets easier. You just got to keep pushing through. And I know how freaking hard that was. I was trapped in it for 8 years. And I know there's a whole bunch of people who are going to watch this video who are going to hate on me, who are going to be like, oh, you're probably still in the pink cloud. Never say you're not going to go back. You've said this before, man. We've heard you say this before. You're going to have taking it again. Something bad's going to happen. No, bro. You think bad things haven't happened this past year? This has been the most stressful year of my entire life. I don't even want to get into it because it's way too personal for a YouTube video, and I've made the mistake of sharing personal stuff in videos before. I always do slip up a little bit. I'm really sick of it, so we're nixing that in the bud right now. Ain't sharing no personal stuff in this one. I'm just saying there's very few things that could shock me to the point where I would find myself back on the slime train. It ain't happening. It's taken a year for me to confidently say that. And really the nail in the coffin to never go back was seeing that I have finally recovered. Like, this is what I was itching for. I finally wanted to get a passion and interest in life again. And it just took being off the slime for virtually a year to get that passion back. I am not going to give up how I feel now. I am not going to sacrifice this to drink a glass of sludge. Nuh-uh. Ain't me, dog. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you learned something, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Join our Patreon for the stuff we cannot show here. I am in the process of reviewing all of my deleted content. And guys, there's dozens of deleted videos. And I'm going to be posting all that deleted content strictly to Patreon. Regulations on YouTube have been continuing to get stricter and stricter, meaning I've had to periodically remove more and more videos. So there's a lot of videos that are only going to be available on my Patreon, and I'll make an update video on YouTube once I have them all posted. Still going through them, got lots of stuff to do. More Shambhala footage coming. We're finally back at it. Hopefully my train stays on the rails this time and we don't smash into a building. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hope you enjoy the next one. Cheers.